Hey, welcome back to another movie review. Last episode was Tangled, and that was more of a summer thing, but now I want to get into the autumn stuff. That's why today we have Coraline. So yeah, like I said, I want to get more into the fall vibes here. And I think Coraline's a good start. And if my calendar's correct, it should be September. Hopefully it's September by the time I upload this too. I have made a new thing and have been trying to make YouTube videos every 2 weeks. You know, I revamped my whole system and now I'm doing it a bit more professionally and whatnot, but I still sound like I'm just talking to the viewer. I think I like that type of style. Instead of professional talking, just straight things. It feels like I'm personally yapping to you, I think, maybe. But yes, it is September now, and it's getting a bit more spooky, but not spooky enough. And geez, it's almost been a year since I've started this movie review stuff, which is crazy, because I only have a handful amount of movie reviews out. Not much to show, but anyways, today we're doing Coraline. Like I stated earlier, it's a pretty good movie, and it's stop motion. And as we know, or we'll get to know, I like my stop motion movies. But anyways, enough with the yapping, let's get into it. We open up with a very creepy opening of these credits with whatever's making these small dolls. You know, the soundtrack is pretty fire anyways, you know? So, we're chilling. And with the soundtrack, it's pretty relaxing, even with the demon making it. We see the dog get thrown out, and we transition into, what is this, midday? To some workers moving in furniture. Zooming off, we get to see this black cat and a girl. As we follow her, we can see the dead garden, them dead trees and leaves and autumn stuff, looking better than ever. We see the girl snap off a branch and using it as some sort of locator as the cat follows behind. We get a couple clips of her just walking, and god damn, the soundtrack is amazing. I don't know who was cooking in the studio. It was my main guy Bruno. I'm not gonna attempt to say his last name though. There's no way I say that properly. Anyways, the hiding cat spooks her and she darts way farther into the forest. Eventually she figures out what spooks her was the cat, and she reveals the main reason why she's out there.
I'm just looking for an old well. Know it?
As she stands there, the wind and thunder picks up as we get introduced to another character. And pretty quickly, we get to see a nice dynamic. And it's revealed that she's been standing over the wall the whole time because the mud covered it up. As they talk, we get some interesting lore.
What rented people with kids?
What do you mean?
And their names, YB and Coraline. But that's it for YB for now, as he gets called away. As we see her looking into the well, we transition to the next day, where she's talking to her mom. But her mom doesn't really care for her. But she does hand Coraline a funny doll that kind of looks like the doll we saw in the beginning. A small miniature version of her. She goes to get her dad, and we realize that they're both pretty trashy parents and don't care much for her. This and that happens for a while, with the same amazing soundtrack, by the way. She goes to look at boxes, places down the doll, and it's somehow moved, leading her to a small door. Convincing her mom to open the door, she sees that behind it is just a lot of bricks, so she gives up. They eat dinner and she heads to bed, but before hitting the hay, she looks at a picture of her friends, missing them. As she sleeps, some mice form at the brick wall, and the noise of mice wakes her up. She chases them down and realizes the bricks are gone, and now a mysterious tunnel has appeared behind the small door, and she enters it. I don't know if that's the smartest idea, but you know, she's 11 years old, so who cares, I guess. As she crawls, we can see that on the other side of the tunnel is her house. She moves to the kitchen to see her mom cooking, and she explains that this place is a lot better than the old place that she was at, and that she is her other mother. She tells her to get her father, and she does that. When she goes to get her father, he starts freestyling on the piano, and it's low-key a banger, I won't lie. They all go eat dinner, and she realizes these parents are a lot better, but it's freaking her out, so she decides to go to sleep. But just then, she looks at the same picture from earlier with her friends, and she sees them talking back to them, and she's really excited. Applying mud to a rash on her hand, she falls asleep. Waking up the next morning, back on the other side of the tunnel. As she's eating breakfast, she tells her parents about what she saw, but they believe she's just dreaming. Her mother suggests to talk to the neighbors about the dream, because they're gullible enough to believe it. As she steps out, she sees mail, but it's from her neighbor, the one up top. She goes up, opens the door, and almost gets inside before he closes it, showing off his great acrobatic skills. We realize what's inside. Some cheese. He tells her that he's working on a jumping mice circus, so no one's allowed in his home. She decides to leave, but once she gets to the bottom, he comes down relaying a message.
Jumping mice?
They are saying, do not go through little door.
After that, goes to the car and grabs some sort of bag suitcase that only carries a hat. What the? Okay. Why would it just have a hat? We see that Coraline goes down and finds the other neighbors her mother was talking about. She opens the door for her and they walk in. And we can see that they're really out of their prime. Sitting down, she gets handed a cup of tea that can read her future. She drinks out of it and the leaves are left behind. The woman grabs the tea and reads her fortune, that she's in great danger. The other woman looks at it and does not think that. But warning or not, she might be in trouble. Foggy and hard to see outside, she can manage to sense YB behind her. And the reason why he's out here is looking for banana slugs. She questions him why the doll looks like her, and he says,
I found it that way. It's older than Grandma. old as his house, probably.
After he kind of blatantly ignores Coraline, a bit of the truth comes out about how she hates how people don't pay enough attention and just ignore her. And right here we can tell maybe she's starting to like that second reality a little bit more than she's leading on. Soon Coraline takes pictures for Wybie and have a bit of a silly time, but then Wybie gives some important lore, how he's never gone inside the Pink Palace because it's dangerous to children.
When they were kids, Grandma's sister disappeared. She said she was stolen.
Are you not hearing this? Are we not hearing this? Coraline, come on. Now you're telling me a kidnapping has happened and this place is dangerous for children? It had to be cheap. There is no other way. We skip over to later at night, and with all the warnings she's had, she completely ignores them, getting the mice to take her back to the other side. Yet again, we see the other mother making food, and she tells her to get her father from the garden. They have a very fun time, and he shows her that he's planted her face. They go eat, and we get introduced to this universe's Wybie. But there's something completely wrong with this Wybie. The mother confessed to sewing Wybie's mouth so he couldn't talk anymore. Coraline, are you not hearing this? How does that not sound bad to you? Anyways, they were invited down to see the jumping mice. They both head and watch the show. After a very long show, she heads to sleep, waking him back in her reality. She goes down to the door, but it won't budge. It's locked. In the car, she tries to tell her parents again, but they won't believe her. Her dad leaves, and her and her mother go shopping. She tries to convince her mom into buying her gloves, but she says no, heading back home. In the car, she tries to cheer up Coraline, but she's not asking for it. She does not want any of her help. And their mother confesses to locking the small door because she wanted her to feel safer. Right here, you can kind of tell that her mother's trying at least, and that maybe she's not all bad. When Coraline's mother leaves for the groceries, Coraline rushes to get the key, opening the small door, going inside and finding a present waiting for her, some new clothes, because she's been invited to the two actresses' play. But before getting there, she runs into the black cat. Talking to it, we hear,
Oh, I'm not the other anything.
what the hell? How is this cat talking? I don't think cats talk, but maybe that's a fact I just didn't know. The cat tells Coraline that this place is very dangerous. It might look like a dream, but it's not. How does he know this information? From the other Wybie. He explains that he can communicate with Wybie even with his mouth shut. He hears something and runs off with no explanation. She heads over and sees a bunch of dogs in the audience. Sitting down near Wybie, the play starts, and we see, oh Jesus Christ, what am I looking at? Am I allowed to put this on YouTube? I might have to blur all this. Oh God. The play keeps going, and a very disturbing scene happens, which is like, I think the most disturbing thing I've seen in the movie. They unzip themselves, and a younger version of them jumps out, and then they do some tricks. The play ends. With the play ending, Coraline walks out, seeing her parents waiting outside for her. They walk into the house, and they say goodbye to Wybie, with this creepy scene of her mother telling Wybie to smile. They sit down at the dinner table and explain to Coraline that she can stay in the reality and have fun all the time, but she just has to do one thing: put the buttons on. And this really freaks her out, and she refuses, wanting to head to sleep. She skips dinner, heads to her room, and everything in her room tries to convince her to put the buttons on. Covering up, she heads to sleep, passing out. Waking up in the morning, excited to see her actual parents. But just then, she realizes she's still in the other world. She runs down to find the other mother, but can only find the father. And he's talking some wacky stuff, especially about Wybie, how he wasn't happy earlier, so they made him happy. Making her scared, she runs out, going deep in the forest. This is where she meets up with the cat, and they walk, talking. But eventually, they meet up to the end of the world. That ending was just a new beginning. It's an infinite loop. They see a mice, and the cat kills it, turning the mice into a rat. The rat was sounding an alarm. Getting an idea, Coraline gets a cane, breaking the door to the small door. But just then, a big bug blocks the way. Her mother waiting there. Eating a bug, they argue. As they argue, the mother gets very aggravated, turning into a horrid version of herself. Getting mad at Coraline, she tosses her into a hidden room. Within that hidden room are spirits of small children, and they explain that the creature that's hiding as Coraline's other mother tricked them into liking this reality, trapping them inside and taking their lives by sewing on the buttons. As Coraline says she won't go down without a fight, she immediately gets nabbed. They have a little tussle, and we realize it's just Wybie trying to help her out. And God, what do they do to him? They run to the small door, and we see that Wybie's already disintegrating. The other mother comes down, and Wybie shuts the door, leaving himself behind, being a sacrifice. You know what? Wybie's gotta be like a favorite character. There's no way. Other Wybie and the original Wybie. As she makes it back to her real reality, she realizes no one's home, but there is a knock at her door. It's just Wybie explaining why he came over. He took the doll from his grandma, and it wasn't meant for Coraline, so his grandma is now mad, and he wants the doll back. Coraline takes Wybie to the small door, but Wybie does not care. He's asking for the doll, and she looks for it. As she looks for the doll, she explains that's a spy for the other mother, and Wybie's getting a little iffy about the situation, thinking she's going crazy, so he leaves. Seeing the car outside, she goes check it, but it's not her parents. No one's in there, actually. Her parents have gone missing. She goes to the actresses, but they don't really care, so all they do is give her a gem made out of candy, and she heads back. At night, she's scared and alone, crying for her parents to come back. As she's going to sleep, the cat wakes her up, taking her to a mirror, showing that her parents are trapped. Next to the mirror, she finds a doll with both her parents, and she figures out who's behind this, the other mother. She burns the doll and decides to get ready. Gearing up, she goes through the small door, seeing her real mother. Rushing to her, she hugs her, but just then, we realize it was a trap. She sits down and drags the other father away, letting Coraline to come to the dinner table. Being brave, Coraline thinks of a plan. She invites the other mother to play a game. The rules are, Coraline Coraline has to find the eyeballs for the children and her parents, and if she wins and gets them, she goes free. But if not, she has to stay there forever and has to put on the button eyes. The mother agrees to this, and Coraline heads to the garden. Getting jumped and her gem stolen, she realizes that she can use her gem to find the eyes, in which she does. Running away from her father, she goes down to the actresses, where some kind of cocoon thing is waiting for her. She goes near it and finds a creature, fighting it off to get the other eye. After that, she heads upstairs to the other neighbor. Inside, we can see that bro's tweaking to the max. Just look at him. Talking for a while, she takes off the hat and he collapses, turning into a bunch of rats. Chasing down the rat that has the eyeball, she throws a gem at him but misses, getting tripped and crashing onto the ground. Tearing up, she's sad that it's all gone. But just then, the rat falls, the eye being there, the cat saving her. Just then, the universe starts collapsing on itself, breaking. Quickly rushing to the house, she runs into the room that has a small door where her mother awaits. We see that she has the gem and she throws it in the fire. Her cheat code now gone. Tricking the mother into opening the small door, Coraline launches the cat at the mother, clawing her eyes out. Just then, she furiously breaks the ground, turning into a spider web. Even with no eyes, she can sense the vibrations heading towards Coraline. Quickly, Coraline makes it to the small door. Closing it with the power of the spirits, they chop off the other mother's mechanical hand. Banging and yelling, the door gets closer, but Coraline locks it before she has a chance to escape. Looking around, she can see the snow globe that her parents were trapped in is now broken, and her parents are back. They tell her to get ready because something special is about to happen. Now, that part isn't really important, but they're oddly friendly to her now after all this happened. Coincidence? Who knows? They hang out in her room and they leave her a present. It's the glove she wanted before. As she looks out the window, she can see the cat. Apologizing for launching it, they make up. Putting the eyes under her pillow, she has a dream about the kids. They thank her for saving them, but they tell her she's still in danger because she has the remaining key. She has to go hide it somewhere. Waking up, she rushes out, but we can see that the hand has escaped and it's now following her. About to throw the key down the well, the hand jumps to the opportunity, finding Coraline. But just then, my boy Wybie comes in and helps Coraline, but then the hand starts fighting him, knocking him off, almost dropping him into the well. Coraline saves him by putting a blanket over the hand, trapping it. It's about to escape free, but then Wybie finishes it off and crushes it. Using the blanket, Coraline wraps the rock, the pieces of the hand, and the key, throwing it down the well. Wybie apologizes for not believing her, and they make up, finally on friendly terms. Wybie admits that the reason he stalked her a bit was because the cat said so. Wybie gets called away, and we skip to the next day, where Coraline gives drinks to everyone, and we finally see Wybie's grandmother. They're having a fun time. Pretty happy ending. We zoom out and see that the cat disappears. Okay, that was a good movie. A nice stop motion with a very good soundtrack. I would say I thought it was good, and if I had to put a ranking on it, I would probably put it over Fantastic Mr. Fox. That's just my opinion. And I did have Coraline at a 7.6, but by doing this movie review, I kind of realized how good this movie was, and I can't remember exactly what my reasoning was behind it, but to respect my older score, because I'm sure it was valid, and my new one, I'm gonna put Coraline at an 8.2 out of 10, going into the great. Wait. Editor Salt here. I completely forgot to tell you guys the system. As you can tell, it's a pretty simple system. One cell bottle equals 2. So if it's cut in half, it can be a 1.7, a 1.3, or it could just be a 1 in general. But if it's just a full one and it's a 2.5, then it's still a 2.5, even if it's full. You're just supposed to make sure. Instead of making 10, one bottle just equals 2. Stacks up on each other. And while recording, I realized that I do have a lot of talking clips, so hopefully that doesn't screw this over. But thank you for watching. Let's continue. Jesus, a lot of movies are going in there. But I mean, a lot of movies are just like an average 7 or 8. What can I say? It is a bit lower than Fantastic Mr. Fox, because I think impact-wise, Fantastic Mr. Fox did better. But if I had to rewatch one of the movies, I would probably lean more into Coraline. The movie didn't have anything wrong with it, and I actually think all the theories about this movie makes it real special. It gives you a lot of different perspectives, especially when you rewatch it after watching a lot of theories. And I have a friend who really likes this movie, so I asked her about her opinion about it, and this is what she said. I really like the whole idea and concept of the movie. I've never seen a story like it before. My favorite scene is when Coraline takes photos of Wybie in the fog with Slug. I also really like the tea revealing scene when she visits the old lady and drinks the tea, and she mixes it up with the draft for Handsome Beast. And when Coraline crawls to the tunnel with the cat and talking about the other mother and what she does. Thank you, Jazz. She's actually the one who made my profile picture, by the way, so thank you. And if you want to recommend a movie and comment about what you think about it, I'll put you into that movie review. You know, recently I've wanted to watch a movie, but not just any movie. I want to watch a sad movie, a devastating movie. I don't want to just watch it though. I want to witness it in theaters. Yes, I want to cry. I want to watch a movie that will make me cry in theaters. I feel this sense of wanting to do it. That's probably because I wanted to watch A Silent Voice a while ago when it got re-released, and I never got the chance to. And oh my god, I was so close to watching it too, but I never got to, unfortunately. But I've been thinking, when was the last time we got like an absolute beauty of a movie, you know? I don't know. Let me just cry in a movie theater, come on. When am I gonna get my own Subaru and Amelia moment? This is unfair. But yeah, I'll be looking for movies. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, I recommend my other videos. A little self-advertisement there. But with that, I'll see you next time. See ya. Bye-bye.